EEW, welcome back.
Hey, Avery, what's up?
What's up? What's up?
So, I see you're at the point where your patience is stretched thin. So what we could do is just briefly talk about one of your past conversations, if that's cool, about Colossians 1:15.
Okay.
Right, heard you were discussing with he sounded like he was British Jehovah's Witness, and he was trying to make a point of how he was taking all, and I think you guys started talking past each other. So when you guys look at all in 16 and 17, you guys are assuming that the all is a totality.
Totality of creation, yeah.
Yeah, we don't assume it that way. We don't.
I know you don't.
Yeah, what I'm saying is your assumption is baseless. Like you got the New Testament writers routinely use all things in a way to talk about a segment. Read Colossians 1. I think it's Colossians 1:19.
Okay.
If you can pull it up, or I can get my Bible.
No, I'll pull it up. I think that's a good reference. I think that is a really good reference. It says, "For in him all the fullness of God was pleased to dwell bodily." I'm sorry, was pleased to dwell. I'm thinking of Colossians 2.
Okay, no, I'm looking for the one that says all. Maybe it's 1:20. I'm looking for all things.
Oh, not all the fullness of God was pleased to dwell in him?
No.
Oh, because that would mean that he's God, right?
Well, if you look at the whole that's a different subject. I don't want to drift.
This is a great verse you brought up, man. I think that was a Freudian slip.
All right, I'd rather go to 20. I think it's 20. Just look at 20. It says something about all things.
All right. It says, "And through him to reconcile to himself all things, whether on earth or in heaven, making peace by the blood of his cross."
Okay, so is Satan and the demons going to be reconciled to God through Christ?
No.
What about those who commit an unforgivable sin?
No.
Will God empty hell eventually? Whatever you think hell is, will he empty it, and will they be reconciled to Christ?
I think hell's a lake of fire.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine, but will he empty it? Will he take them out and reconcile them to himself?
No.
Okay, so all things there has exceptions. That was the point. So in the context, Paul shows, he says all things. He doesn't say all other things or all some things. He says all things, and expects his readers to have enough to make the inference for themselves. So that's why I'm saying when we go to 16 and 17, this is all things. We don't think you can't assume it, because that's not only how Paul mostly uses it, but how almost all the New Testament writers, I would say 80% of the time, when they say all things, they don't go. And I'll actually say that you guys do a false standard when you say, well, Paul would say all other. Paul never. You could exhaustively go through all his letters. He never says all other things. It's not even a phrase he uses. So to require him here going, well, if he meant all other, he would say it. No, he wouldn't. He never uses that expression. He always requires the reader to know enough to make the inference. Always, 100% of the time. So I'm saying the same thing happens in 16 and 17. When he says all things made in him, through him, and for him or to him, we have a basis to say you're wrongly assuming a totality, and you have no basis for it.
Okay, so let me answer you. This is what it says. He's the image of the invisible God, the firstborn of all creation. For by him all things were created, in heaven or on earth, visible and invisible, thrones or dominions, rulers or authorities. All things were created through him and for him. So here's my thing.
Yeah.
My thing is that the basis that I have to say that it's all things that were created is because the verse says it. The verse says, and the qualifier is creation, so it's not just ambiguous. It's not, he makes it clear what he's talking about. He's talking about all of creation. Everything that has been created was created by him, through him, and for him. So the basis that I have is that the text says it. It's not an assumption. It's not some, if I really think about it, and could be seen some other way. There's no other way to go about this other than what it says verbatim there.
Okay, so that, and I would say the same thing about the verse we read in 20. It says all things. So all you're doing is reiterating that You haven't dealt with 20. You're just doubling down and saying, well, I'm just going to think that this is all things. But we
verse
just
20.
looked at.
Let's deal with verse 20 real quick. Does verse 20 qualify what the all things are that it's talking about?
Read it again.
It says, and through him to reconcile to himself all things, whether on earth or in heaven, making peace by the blood of his cross. Does it?
Yeah.
Does it
So
qualify what it's
it
talking
says
about?
whether on earth or on heaven. It is qualified.
Yeah, but what?
All things, whether on earth or on heaven.
So does
all,
it?
You said all.
So saying given location is not necessarily qualifying. When it says all things, what are the all things in the heaven and earth that it's qualifying? Because I don't see a qualifier here.
How do you see what you're saying? Are you saying that he's being more because he has more language in 16 and 17? You're saying that that's more of a qualifier?
I'm saying because it's qualified.
Heavens and earth would definitely be characterized as a qualifier. Whether you're saying it's not enough of a qualifier or it needs more information, I mean that would be a preference you have. But no one could look at heavens and earth and go, "That's not a qualifier." You can't. You wouldn't just dismiss that and say, "Nah, he's not qualifying it." Yes, he is.
Yeah. So this is what I'm asking, brother. When he says, "Firstborn of all creation," what is the all?
Well, now we're switching the phrases. All creation this is what I would say, because all creation is different from all things.
Okay.
So now, when it says he's the firstborn of all creation, that's the totality, including the Son. Right? That's why that brother.
Just 1 second, brother, because I asked this for a reason.
Okay, go ahead.
Can we agree that all, when it says firstborn of all, is qualified by creation? All creation, right?
Sure.
Okay. The next verse says, because by him all things were created. So the qualifier of the all things here are things that are created, right?
Say that part again.
The all things that's qualified here are the things that are created, right?
No, I don't take all creation as synonymous with all things. It's not. They're not synonymous.
So I'm gonna do it again. So it says, for by him all things were created. So the all things that it's talking about are the things that are created, right?
According to the context, that's impossible. That's why he switches his terms. When he's firstborn of all creation, it puts him, that's why the brother told you, that puts him in the all creation. He's part of that. And then the all things, he's not part of. Otherwise, if it's synonymous, why didn't Paul just go all creation, all creation, all creation?
I got you. I just there's nothing we can do here. Is there something else you wanted to bring up or talk about? Because there's no going forward from here. That's just
because you insist on all creation being synonymous with all things. Is that that's what you're saying?
I'm gonna give you an opportunity.
Go ahead.
Still man my position, please, EEW. What am I saying? Still man it.
To me, you're trying to insist that when it says,
please don't say what you think I'm doing, but still, like, for example, let me still man your position.
Go ahead.
Your position is that all things has exceptions. We can't just assume that when the Bible says all things, even in a context, that is absolute, because there will be exceptions that we can think of, that we can go through. Verse 20 being an example where he says he's going to reconcile all things to himself, whether in heaven or on earth. He's not going to reconcile the devil and the demons, hell. He's not going to reconcile them. So there's exceptions to this. That's a still man. That's your argument being represented correctly, right?
Yes.
Okay. Do mine now.
Okay. You're saying that because it says firstborn of all creation, and then the all things that has to do with creation, you think that that's synonymous.
Okay. No.
You don't think all creation is synonymous?
That's not my position. That's not what I said to you. That's not what I communicated. And so therefore, you were unable to represent my position. And I don't want this to delve into something terrible. So I think we should just go ahead and close it out here. Okay.
That's cool with me, brother.
All right. Take care, man.
Yep.
Abel, you're on stage.
Hey, what's going on, man? How you doing?
Pretty good. You disagree with the topic?
Yeah, I got strong. I got strong rejections against the Trinity.
Okay.
First off, I don't believe Jesus is the Most High because he died.
Say that again.
I don't believe Jesus is the Most High. You're saying he's the Most High God, right?
Yeah.
So I don't believe he's the Most High God because he died.
Oh, okay. What's the problem with dying?
God can't die.
What does that mean to die?
To not exist, to not be.
No, you still exist when you die, don't you?
Death is non-existence.
No.
Unconscious. You're unconscious.
Well, what's your religion?
I would say I am Unitarian. I would say Unitarian.
You're a Unitarian?
Yeah.
So you believe in the Bible, you just deny the Trinity?
Right. I believe in the Bible. I just deny the Trinity. But I'm more like freelance. Like, for example, if you're a Trinitarian, just because I don't believe that in certain aspects of your belief, I feel like you can still teach me something. Even though we don't agree in this, there's probably something that you might know that I don't know. So, like, I don't reject, like, just because I don't believe in the Trinity doesn't mean that there might be something that I can't learn from you. Get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Okay, so I just want to show you something real quick in Revelation. Oh yeah, chapter 6. Okay, Revelation chapter 6. It says in verse 9, when he opened the fifth seal, I saw under the altar the souls of those who had been slain for the word of God and for the witness they had borne. They cried out with a loud voice, O sovereign Lord, holy and true, how long before you will judge and avenge our blood on those who dwell on the earth? Then they were each given a white robe and told to rest a little longer until the number of their fellow servants and their brothers should be complete, who were to be killed as they themselves had been. Yep. So these are souls of dead people, right? But yet they're having a conversation with God. So they're still conscious, even though they're dead, right?
I would consider these verses symbolic. I wouldn't consider them literal.
Symbolic?
Yeah, I wouldn't consider them literal. Because if you're still alive when you're dead, then you're not dead. So I'm saying in the ultimate sense, these are holy ones of God. So their death isn't permanent, meaning they'll come back to life, they'll be resurrected. Just like when Jesus died,
everybody's going to be resurrected.
He was resurrected. Right.
Everybody's going to be resurrected. Even the evil, the ones who are not in Christ, are going to be resurrected.
Right. Well, the ultimate death is the second death, right? So you die.
I'm specifically talking about your idea that you cannot be conscious after death. But this demonstrates, yes, you can, because it shows that there are souls who are consciously having a conversation with God, asking when he's going to avenge them. Right? So there's nothing symbolic about this. It's very straightforward. This is going to happen when the fifth seal is opened. So I think that your idea of what death is just biblically inaccurate.
Yeah, but how do you prove that this is literal and not symbolic? Because this is Hebrew language, where some things aren't literal, and some things are just to show a point of something.
So is it symbolic?
Can you show me another?
They were slain. Can you show me? They were slain for the word of God.
Yeah.
Like that's literal.
That's
right?
literal, right? But you can have literal meanings within verses, and then have symbolic meanings within the very next verse.
But what would give you that precedent that it switches to being figurative all of a sudden?
Um,
I'll bring it back again. What tells you that it switches to being figurative all of a sudden? Because I don't see a tone switch in the context.
Well, you're giving them a white robe. You can't give something. White robe is something you give to someone that's living. I would give you a white robe. That's symbolic.
That's your assumption.
That's not a
your
literal.
Assumption
God.
is that you have to be alive to receive a white robe. No, you do not.
The white robe here is symbolic. You're gonna tell me it's not symbolic?
No, we're gonna be dressed in white robes.
Then they were each given a white robe and told to rest a little longer. The white robe is symbolic, saying like you're saved, so you have a white robe and just rest a little longer because you're saved. That's pretty much what the white robe symbolizes here.
The white robe is not symbolic. He dresses them up in a white robe. You're just saying it's symbolic doesn't make it symbolic, brother.
Does a spirit need to wear a white robe?
No. But if God puts a white robe on them, they can wear a white robe in the spiritual realm, right? A spiritual white robe.
No, there's no. Is the white robe?
When you say no, you have to give a.
The white robe is symbolic of something. The spirit is not. Doesn't need something physical.
Do you believe that angels are spirits?
Yes, but sometimes
are they described as having clothes on when they appear?
Well, they come in the form of men.
Yeah, but is that an actual physical form of man, or is it just an appearance?
Both. They take on the appearance of a man, so physically.
So it's not, do they actually do they actually have a physical nature, like a physical form, or is it just an appearance, a manifestation?
No, I believe they take on a physical form because they eat and they do everything else.
Okay, so you believe that angels actually incarnate?
I believe that angels take on the physical form. They take on a physical form when they come to earth.
So you believe they incarnate or what?
I don't know.
Like, do they actually become a man, or do they just take on the appearance of a man?
I believe they take on the appearance of man. They're angels, but sometimes they pretend to be men, or they take on the physical appearance of a man. Because to be a man, you have to be born a man. Like Jesus was born Son of Man. So Jesus was literally born. So angels, they aren't born men. They just take on that form when they want to show themselves to God's servants. So
do you believe that God has a physical form in heaven?
The Most High God, well, the Father.
God.
We have different understandings of God, so I'm trying to.
Do you believe that the Father?
Understand your question.
Do you believe that the Father has a physical form in heaven?
No. Jesus is the form that we see, that we can see.
All right, but it talks about, so in Isaiah 6, when it talks about how Isaiah saw God, he saw Yahweh. You don't believe that that's Jesus, obviously, right? You believe that's the Father?
No, I believe that's Jesus, because if we look at
it identifies him as Yahweh.
If we look at what's the verse?
John 12.
Well, John 1:18. No man has seen God at any time. The only begotten Son, which is in the bosom of the Father, he has declared him. So when people see Jesus,
just to be clear,
Jesus is the express image of God.
Right. So just to be clear, you believe that Jesus is Jehovah, he's Yahweh, who he saw? Because it says that he saw Yahweh, and then the angels sung about his glory filling the earth.
I believe that. Which verse is it?
Isaiah 6, 1, 2, and 3. Look.
Can we go into it?
Yeah. Let me put it in where his name pops up. I like this version better. Here comes this. In the year of King Uzziah's death, I saw the Lord sitting on a throne, high and lifted up, with the train of his robe filling the temple. You believe that that's Jesus he saw, right?
Yeah, I believe it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's Jesus.
And it says, so he's seeing Jesus, the Lord sitting on his throne, high and lifted up, and the train of his robe filling his temple. Seraphim stood above him, each having 6 wings, covering the face, covering the feet, and with 2 he flew. And one called out to another and said, Holy, holy, holy is Yahweh of hosts. The whole earth is full of his glory. So the seraphim are worshiping Jesus, the Lord sitting on his throne, and calling him Yahweh.
No, I just think Jesus, the image of Christ, represents God. So we know no man has ever seen God. We know that from John 1:18 says no man at any time has seen God. So
yeah, you don't have to backtrack to that. So yeah, we already got that this is not the Father. According to you, right?
When people see God, no one can see God because God is spirit. He has
right. So they're seeing Jesus, you said, right?
I believe so, yes. I believe this is Jesus in the verse. But Jesus is the image.
They're seeing Jesus, and the seraphim are calling Jesus Yahweh, correct? And saying that the whole earth is full of his glory, right?
That doesn't tell me anything, because there are verses where angels represent God, and they call
there's no verses where mere angels represent God. But what you see here is that, look, brother, in the year of King Uzziah's death, I saw the Lord sitting on a throne, high and lifted up. You said he's seeing Jesus, right?
Yes.
Okay. Seraphim stood above him. Above who?
Above the image of God.
Above the image of God? That's not what it says here. Let's stick to what it says. The seraphim stood above who? Who's the him?
This is a vision, right?
Yeah.
This is a vision. So
yeah, that doesn't change anything.
It does change. It changes a lot of things, bro. There are plenty of times in the Bible where agents of God are called God.
Are they called Yahweh?
I'm trying to find the verse.
I'm just help you out here, man. You said you believe the Bible, right?
I do.
So you're not going to be like a Muslim who says they believe in the Quran, and I show them a Quran verse and then they just deny it. You won't be like that with the Bible, right? Right?
Nope.
Okay. Look here. Matt, you can see the screen. Can you read this verse?
That they may know that you alone, your name is Yahweh, are the most high over all the earth.
Is there anybody else who is Yahweh, identified as Yahweh, who's not the most high, according to this verse?
Yeah. No one.
No one.
Only God.
Okay.
Yeah.
Only God. Only God most high, the most high God. Okay. Now, let's go back here. So mere agents of God cannot be identified as Yahweh. They cannot be called Yahweh. Only the most high God alone is Yahweh. We in agreement?
No, we're not in agreement. Agents of God represent God. So for all intents and purposes,
can they be? Are they identified? I'll ask it again. And if you're going to be dishonest with me, I'm gonna just move on because you'll be showing that you're wasting my time. Is there anybody else, according to this verse, whose name is Yahweh?
Hold up, just let me find the word first, man.
No. You don't need to find a verse. You have a verse in front of you, and I'm asking a question based on the verse. Can anybody other than the Most High God be identified as Yahweh according to this verse?
No, this song is talking about God.
All right. So if that's the case, that no one can be identified as Yahweh other than the Most High God, can an agent who is not God be identified as Yahweh?
Yes. Agents of God are agents of God.
Go enjoy your false theology, brother. Take care of yourself.